Daniel 10 through 12. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed to Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar. And the thing was true, but for a long time off, he understood the thing, and he understood of the understanding of the vision. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning 3 whole weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, nor did meat or wine come into my mouth, nor did I anoint myself at all, until 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. In the 24th day of the 1st month, I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel. I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, there was a man clothed in linen, whose thighs were adorned with pure gold of Uphaz. His body also was like beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as flaming torches. His arms and his feet were like burnished bronze, and the voice of his words were like the voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men who were with me did not see the vision. But a great quaking fell on them, and they fled to hide themselves. So I was left alone, and saw this great vision. No strength remained in me, for my face grew deadly pale, and I retained no strength. Yet I heard the voice of his words, and as I heard the voice of his words, I fell into a deep sleep on my face, with my face to the ground. Behold, a hand touched me, which set me on my knees, and on the palms of my hands. And he said to me, Daniel, you greatly beloved man, understand the words that I speak to you, and stand upright, for I have been sent to you now. When he had spoken this word to me, I stood trembling. Then he said to me, do not be afraid, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard. I have come for your word's sake. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days, and behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, because I remained there with the kings of Persia. Now I have come to make you understand what will happen to your people in the end of days, for the vision is yet for many days. When he had spoken these words to me, I set my face toward the ground and was mute. Behold, one of the likeness of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spoke and said to him who stood before me, my Lord, by reason of the vision my sorrow have overtaken me, and I have retained no strength. For how can the servant of this my Lord talk with this my Lord? For as for me, immediately there remained no strength in me, and there was no breath left in me. Then one like the appearance of a man touched me again, and he strengthened me. And he said, greatly beloved man, do not be afraid. Shalom to you. Be strong. Yes, be strong. When he spoke to me, I was strengthened, and he said, let my Lord speak, for you have strengthened me. Then he said, do you know why I have come to you? Now I have to return to fight with the prince of Persia. When I go out, behold, the prince of Greece will come. But I will tell you that which I inscribe the writing of truth. There is no one who holds with me against these, but Michael, your prince. As for me, in the 1st year of Darius the Mede, I stood up and confirmed my strength to confirm and strengthen him. And now I will show you the truth. Behold, 3 more kings will stand up in Persia, and the 4th will be far richer than them all. When he has grown strong through his riches, he will stir up all against the realm of Greece. Then a mighty king will stand up, who will rule with great dominion, and do according to his will. And when he stands up, his kingdom will be broken, and will be divided toward the 4 winds of heaven, but not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion with which he ruled. for his kingdom will be plucked up and go to others besides these. The king of the south will be strong. One of the princes will become stronger than him and have dominion, and his dominion will be a great dominion. At the end of the years, they will join themselves together, and the daughter of the king of the south will come to the king of the north and make an arrangement. But she will not retain the strength of her arm. He will also not stand, nor will his arm, but she will be given up with those who brought her, and he will become the father of her, and he who strengthened her in those times. But out of the shoot from her roots one will stand up in his place, who will come to the army and will enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and will deal against them, and will prevail. He will also carry their gods with their molten images, and with their godly vessels of silver and of gold, captive into Egypt. He will refrain some years from the king of the north, and he will come into the realm of the king of the south, but he will return into his own land. His sons will wage war and assemble a multitude of great forces, which will come on and overflow and pass through. Then he will return and wage war, even to his fortress. The king of the south will be moved with anger, and will come out and fight with him. Even with the king of the north, he will send out a great multitude, and the multitude will be given into his hand. The multitude will be lifted up, and his heart will be exalted. He will cast down tens of thousands, but he will not prevail. The king of the north will return, and will send out a multitude greater than the former. He will come on the end of the times of years with a great army and with much substance. In those times many will stand up against the king of the south. Also the children of the violent among your people will lift themselves up to establish the vision, but they will fall. So the king of the north will come and cast up a mound, and take a well-fortified city. The forces of the south will not stand, neither will his chosen people, neither will there be any strength to stand. But he who comes against him will do according to his own will, and no one will stand before him. He will stand in the glorious land of destruction, will be in his hand. He will set his face to come with the strength of his whole kingdom, and with his equitable conditions, and he will perform them. He will give him the daughter of women to corrupt her, but she will not stand with him, or be with him, or before him. After this he will turn his face to the islands, and will take many, but a prince will cause the reproach offered by him to cease. Yes, moreover, he will cause his reproach to turn on him. Then he will turn his face toward the fortress of his own land, but he will stumble and fall, and will not be found. Then one will cause a tax collector to pass through the kingdom to maintain its glory, and will stand up on his place, but within few days he will be destroyed, not in anger and not in battle. In his place a contemptible person will stand up, to whom they had not been given the honor of kingdom. But he will come in a time of security, and will obtain the kingdom by flatteries. And the arms of the flood will be swept away from before him, and will be broken. Yes, also the prince of the covenant. After the league made with him, he will work deceitfully. For he will come up, and will become strong with a small people. In a time of security he will come even to the fattest places of the province, and he will do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers. He will scatter among them plunder, spoil, and riches. Yes, he will devise his plans against the strongholds even for a time. He will stir up his power and his courage among the king of the south and a great army, and the king of the south will wage war and battle with an exceedingly great and mighty army. But he will not stand, for they will devise plans against him. Yes, those who eat of his food will destroy him, and his army will be swept away, and many will fall down slain. As for both of these kings, their hearts will be to do mischief, and they will speak lies at one table, but it will not prosper. For the end will be at the appointed time. Then he will return to his own land with great wealth, but his heart will be against the holy covenant, and he will take action and return to his own land. He will return at the appointed time and come into the south, but this time will not be like the first. For ships of Kittim will come against him. Therefore he will be grieved and will return, and his indignation against the holy covenant, and will take action. He will even return and have regard for those who forsake his holy covenant. Forces will stand on his part, and they will profane the sanctuary, even the fortress, and will take away the continual burnt offering. Then they will set up the abomination that makes desolate. He will corrupt those who do wickedly against the covenant by flatteries. But the people who know their God will be strong and take action. Those who are wise among the people will instruct many, yet they will fall by the sword and by flame, by captivity and by plunder many days. Now when they fall, they will be helped with a little help, and many will join themselves with them with flatteries. Some of those who are wise will fall, to refine them and to purify and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for the time appointed. The king will do according to his will. He will exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and will speak marvelous things against the God of the gods. He will prosper until the indignation is accomplished. For that which is determined will be done. He will not regard the gods of his fathers, or the desire of women, or regard any god, for he will magnify himself above all. But in his place he will honor the God of fortresses. He will honor a God whom his fathers did not know, with gold and silver, and with precious stones and pleasant things. He will deal with the strongest fortresses by the help of a foreign god. He will increase with glory whoever acknowledges him. He will cause them to rule over many, and will divide the land for a price. At the end, the king of the south will contend with him, and the king of the north will come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots, with horsemen, and with many ships. He will enter into the countries, and will overflow and pass through. He will enter also into the glorious land, and many countries will be overthrown, but these will be delivered out of the hand: Edom, Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. He will also stretch out his hand on the countries. The land of Egypt will not escape, but he will have power over the treasures of gold and silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt. The Libyans and the Ethiopians will be at his steps. But news out of the east and out of the north will trouble him, and he will go out with great fury to destroy and utterly sweep away many. He will plant the tents of his palace between the sea and the glorious holy mountain. Yet he will come to his end, and no one will help him. At that time Michael will stand up, the great prince who stands for the children of your people, and there will be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. At that time your people will be delivered, everyone who is found written in the book. And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth will awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Those who are wise will shine as the brightness of the expanse, and those who turn many to righteousness will shine as the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, shut up the words of the book, seal the book until the time of the end. Many will run back and forth, and knowledge will increase. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, 2 others stood, one on the river bank on this side, and the other on the river bank on that side. One said to the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, "How long will it be to the end of these wonders?" I heard the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand to heaven, and swore by him who lives forever, that it will be for a time, times, and a half. And when they have finished breaking in pieces the power of the holy people, all these things will be finished. I heard, but I did not understand. Then I said, "My Lord, what will be the outcome of these things?" And he said, "Go your way, Daniel, for the words are shut up and sealed until the time of the end. Many will purify themselves and make themselves white and be refined, but the wicked will do wickedly, and none of the wicked will understand. But those who are wise will understand. From the time that the continual burnt offering is taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate set up, there will be 1,290 days. Blessed is he who waits and comes to the 1,335 days. But go your way until the end, for you will rest and will stand in your inheritance at the end of days.